We're down the bottom of the garden. Behind me you can see those golden fronds of the dawn redwood. Well, guess what? We're in the middle of October. They're not quite ready to prune. In fact, these fronds, beautiful in colour, but still aren't dropping. And we need to wait for those to drop before we do any work. So if you want to see what work that is, we're going to wait a few more weeks. But for you, it's just going to be the time it takes you to watch the opening credits. See you in a mo. Hi, Xavier, welcome to our bonsai retreat, and I love dawn redwoods, and I was frustrated. I wanted to get onto these a week or so ago, but do you know what? I'm looking now on this branch structure of this. I love this, I love these roots coming down. I know it's not to everyone's taste, but do you know what? I love it. It gives it strength, it gives it depth, and it gives it character. It's very individual. We follow the sweep of the S up on the inside. We've got some really nice structure. There's ramification building, and that leads me on to the first thing everyone's probably going, Zav, tell me, can I wire now? Can I wire in spring? Can I prune now? Can I prune in spring? Well, if you've been with my channel for any length of time, you know that back in 2022, I think I did the wiring now and then took it off in the spring. The following year I did some wiring in spring and pruning and did it. So I've done it both ways. Do you know what? The trees are fine. It all comes down to how you protect them through the winter and just how cold it gets. But here in downtown Grantham in the UK, zone 9B, there just isn't a problem. So I am going to say to you, fill your boots, do it whichever way you want, whichever way suits your garden. So what am I going to do now? Well, the usual. We're going to be looking at the soil, making sure there's no bits and pieces and horrible mugwort or liverwort building up in there. We're going to be having a look, flaky bark. We're going to be making sure that there's no little horrible insects under there or eggs, which means, of course, winter wash. So they're all going to get a firm winter wash now that all the fronds have dropped. I'm literally going to be working my way around this and others and just having a look and seeing what the bud location is like. If I've got sufficient buds closer into the branch, I'm going to be cutting it in a lot closer, and I'm happy to do that now. Right, so as always, the first thing I do is I have a look on the soil, and generally what I'll do is I'll actually pull away just the top 4 or 5 millimeters, half a centimeter. I like there to be a bit of a rim, so I'll just pull that away. It also means that I can get any of those weeds or anything that might be just below the surface. You can also see what sort of surface roots there are here. And yes, granted, I expect that any surface roots that I leave uncovered through the winter probably won't make it, but I'm not going to be keeping those up there anyway. And where I see some obvious pruning decisions for some of these roots, I can just straight away cut them off. And this is just all about that maintenance. Same there, going around with the toothbrush, getting rid of any of that mud that's building up. And again, what we're talking about here is absolutely reducing to a minimum the opportunity for insects or eggs to be hiding under there, but also for any mildew or mouldy rot or weeds or anything like that to stick to the surface and cause rotting problems. So I keep going around here, and to be fair, I'm really happy with how this is looking all around this root structure, looking very nice. We shove that rock under there for now. I think someone said that would be a good idea. Truthfully, I'm not bothered right now. Who knows, I might put a chair or a little person under there to give that impression of size. So yeah, so it's just about taking care of a tree that, I mean, this one is well over 50 years old, and you know, we've got to care for it. See here where I've just got a bit of bark that's flaking away, like your junipers. I'm not going to go mad and rip it all up. What I am going to make sure is that I've taken every opportunity to eliminate those hiding places for any of our overwintering bugs eggs, stuff like that. And obviously what you do have to be careful for, if you're going to lift some flaky bark, one, make sure it's flaky. You don't want to be lifting up bark that's actually attached to the trunk. But yeah, that's just so that I can get my winter wash in there when I do the spray. There's no doubt, every year I look at this, especially now in the autumn when everything's off. This is when you get to see this at its best. There's the primary structure, we've got the trunk, we've got primary branches, we've got secondary branches coming off, and now we've got the start of a good tertiary system. Now you all know with Dawn Redwood, they grow out those big long fronds. Some years you don't get anything from them, but other years you get those buds in nice and close. And what I'm going to do now is be going around and looking close in where we've got bud points and where we've potentially got quite long growths. And here, quite a long growth, centimetre, 2.5 centimetres maybe, and there's just one bud there, and the rest are in close. Options, I could actually cut that right back and try and regrow that branch. What I have got is where you've got buds that are going at right angles, a bit like you might do with all your maples, where you get loads of bud points coming out. Just rub them off. And you've got this big branch here, and yes, the problem we've got is we've got that little bud enclosed there. Then we look at this long extension here, and you've just seen me cut it. There's a bud there, but really I can imagine that next year I may well cut that off. And then we follow this further along, got little bud there and another one opposite there, and then we have to go all the way along again 3 centimetres before we've got right at the end 3 buds. So I've cut the end tip off. These are long, but it's a bigger tree so it can handle it. Follow this along here. Underneath there's a bud right there, but we've also got this one here and a bud there, so that'll give me a frond off here, frond here, and then we have to look along this big long length, and again absolutely nothing until we get right out here, and do you know what, that's just no good for me. I don't want that, so I'm going to be regrowing this one. Cut that one back. Because I'm regrowing this one, that means my option on that one changes as well potentially, because of the scale of the branch structure I'm growing, so it looks like I'll have to rely on what that produces and cut back. And to be fair, that's what I've found with Dawn Redwood. You're often, sometimes the year goes by, you don't get the buds in close, and then other times you'll come in and you'll have a look and you've got the perfect bud structure. And in fact here's a perfect example of what I wanted lower down but didn't get. So we've finished down here. I'm not happy with that particularly, but we've got new buds here. But if we move higher up onto this branch here, it's got some lovely movement on it. We've got a couple, 2, 3 buds here, one of them going downwards, one of them's a nice horizontal one which I actually like the look of, but I'm going to take the top one off, and there's one big one and a small one. But this length comes out, got a little nub there. I will clean that nub up, but this is what I'm talking about. So then we've got barely, what, 1.5 centimetres, and then we've got 1, 2, 3. This is what you're looking for, and sometimes you have to go years to get it, but when you do, it's like a triumph. So I'm just going to cut that one off. So we're going to movement down, and then we've also got a little bud there, which for now I'm happy to leave. But then we go for this long length here, and ideally, you know, it's done it here. Why is it not done it on this one? And you know, that's the reality of trying to develop these as trees. So we look under, we've got a bud underneath, and then we have to go all the way out to here. Apart from the fact that it's going right across the tree, that's just far too far for me to get any ramification. So I'm going to cut it right back and rely on what's going to come from here, and potentially what I'll do is have fronds here and here, and then this one here. But the action of cutting that very often will promote dormant buds close in. A healthy redwood will always send out new dormant buds, and we'll see them probably sometime in the spring. Then we also get really good little opportunities that come along slowly. I've let these grow out, which means this one here can actually be removed. And I'll cut back to where we've got buds and neaten it up. So you've seen that branch and how I've reduced that back. A couple of them I've got the buds that I want for next year. A couple of them I'm starting again. But each time you've got a whole season of growth, each branch slowly gets thicker anyway. So it's part and parcel of this. I'm going to work my way around. Again, we've got branches coming further out, but I'm happy. It's going to have a wider frond base, so I'm quite happy to go a little bit in tune with it. And I keep saying, it feels frustrating. You're cutting it all the way back to regrow, but each year you get a bud more and more likely to be in the place you want it. Slow, but you know, if you want that top quality bonsai, that's what it takes. Certainly when you're getting something this old. So I'm going to whiz my way around that. It's going to take me a good hour. I'll come back to you when it's done. Well, I've worked my way all the way around, cut loads off, but there's lots of promising buds there. We're really not going to appreciate them till the spring. Probably in the May time when we're next going to see all these fronds coming out. All I've really got to sort out now is right up here at the top. We've got this one coming towards, I'm happy with that, but we've got this up here. Unless I intended to bend it down like that, which I'm not. All I need to do is remove that. And again, I've got this long bit up here, but truthfully I actually like some buds that are a lot closer in. And then all I really need to do is have a look. I've got loads and loads of buds all around that top. I'm just going to select the ones which I know I am not going to want, and they're probably going to be the ones that are actually coming in towards. I want ones that are coming out in nice little angles, not going upwards. Truthfully, this great big long bit there really isn't going to form part of it, so let's get rid of it. We've got a whole bundle up here, and I've got to decide really which of those I want to keep, so I'm going to go and do that. Right, well there it is, that's done for another year, and most of all I'm just so impressed with the amount of ramification I've got on this redwood, along with this beautiful shape, which leaves just the one thing to do. And because of this flaky bark which I keep talking about, I'm definitely going to be going in nice and detailed. I'll be honest, I haven't actually found much of an issue with insects on the redwoods, so they probably don't like redwood very much, do they? Let me know in the comments if anyone else has had problems with insects overwintering on their redwoods. Okay, well that's had a really good dousing down. This will probably be fine where it normally sits, probably sit on one of the benches by the brick wall of the house behind me. Be absolutely fine. I'll keep it bunched up together. So that's redwood number one. That's the best of mine. As you know, I've got a couple more which we'll see a before and after. But you know what I thought? Before that, I've been doing a series of cutting to bonsai, and in particular with my redwood cutting, which I took now, 4 years ago? There's some other cuttings in there as well, but this one is 4 years old. So should we scoot back to the beginning of the year, or perhaps even 18 months ago, just remind ourselves of how it's getting on, and then we'll come back and just quickly have a look and see what we'll do with it now. Right now it's February the 19th, but by the time you're seeing this, you're hopefully going to have seen a year in the life, if not 18 months in the life of this Dawn Redwood cutting. Well, I think this is its 5th year now, maybe 5 years old. Nothing special. I mean, there's loads and loads of growth on this. I'm just going to clip it all the way back, and I think I did a bit of branch selection last year. In fact, why don't we scoot back to June 2023 when I did a bit of branch cutting on this one. I've had quite a bit of success with redwood cuttings, and I'll say now, this is not the same as a coastal redwood. It's going to be a formal upright, clearly, but I will do the same thing with pruning there. So got lots of growth, but here it's bending upwards, but I've got some nice branches here, so that's what we want. Where I'm trying to get growth that's this way, not that way, I've got an opportunity here to take that one off so that I can get these to grow. What I really need is more buds from there. To get more buds from there, all I need to do is that. And obviously I think as it goes nearer up, it would actually be leaning upwards as it's reaching for the light. And this high up, if you're going this high up in the tree, you would not have that great distance, so we'll get rid of that now. That's how I keep on top of my my redwood cuttings. Lots of green buds that we love to see in the late winter, early spring. That's telling me time to repot. Let's get it out of this and try and get it into, this time what I want to do is put it into a pond basket. See what we're looking like. It's amazing, just amazing to think this was just a little cutting. That's what I love about this. If you've got the patience, you don't need to spend a fortune, you just use the existing trees you've got. What have we got left? Well, to be honest, we can get rid of that top one. We've actually still got a set of radial roots. In fact, we may even get rid of that one too, thinking about it. It's still young, so if we put it into nice soil, we've got some nice feeder roots going there. Get rid of the rest of these big coarse ones.
I can't watch any more of this.
Well, you probably think I
What have you done?
went a bit extreme while I had the camera off, and truthfully I did. The main thing again, we've moved into the pond basket, root development. I've got a trunk, and I know with the redwoods it's just going to send out loads of new growth anyway. And I kept looking at those branches trying to work out which ones I would keep, and in the end I decided none of them. So here we are, it's the 23rd of July, middle of summer pretty well, and doesn't this look different? I think we had a bare stick just a few moments ago. Well, here we go. Lots of shoots coming out, and really there's very little I want to do except for remove just a couple of the ones that are pointing straight up. Just going to get rid of those ones. Happy to let those go. We've got one that's coming out straight up there. We don't want to waste energy on that, but I like these ones. Don't like this one. It's just looking at places where I definitely won't want growth. Where did I say the front? I think the front was going to be probably in there. We've got an open area here. And as I said with this one, and I'll certainly be looking in a few months' time, I'm wanting this growth to be slowly directed downwards. It's going to be traditional, upright, very, very slim in design. This one, I want it to look like nature.
Do you believe him?
In fact, before we go and have a look and see what we're going to do to that cutting now, why don't we just have a quick reminder of a couple of the others that have been brewing in the bonsai retreat. Hopefully a few of you will remember when I put together this little development forest group. Again, all of these are from my own cuttings, different ages up to about 6 years old. Still very, very early stages, but I love it. And I know there's a few of you who pointed out that one there and said, do you know what, in nature you never have something bowing out like that. Well, I wish I'd had my camera, because certainly when I've had a wander around, I've seen a few trees that just because of what happens, those sort of weird different things happen. But anyway, love the big rock on there, and our brown bear is certainly a little bit overdue on his hibernation. What am I going to do here? Well, do you know what? Exactly the same thing. Go around here, have a look and see which buds I want, and basically take it back and neaten it up. Now I've already had the toothbrush and just making sure that we've got nothing horrible. It's going to be hiding on the shoots, and apart from that, I'm going to do a little bit of cutting around. So I'll come back when it's done, show you the other one, and then hey, we'll give you that answer for the how's the cutting now. Well, you've noticed I've taken all of these right back in, and the reason why is right down at the base there, got nice downward looking shoots, and what I want to do is slowly, each year, I let them grow out. That allows enough energy to go into the trunk so the trunks can thicken over time. It's a slower process. I've got them in a pot already. What I'm looking for is the shoots that are underneath. I want them to start developing that slight downward canned, and you're going to see that in 2025. In fact, if that's something that interests you, because I know one of the most favourite things on my channel is the Dawn Redwoods, and I must be honest, I'm pretty good with Dawn Redwood. Now's a great time to hit subscribe, bell notifications, big like button and all that. There's going to be a lot of good Dawn Redwood content continuing through 2025. So if you don't want to miss it, you need to make sure you hit those relevant buttons. Anyway, so I've cut a lot of stuff back because I can see right down at the bases of all these, we've got lots of little buds. Right, let's have a quick look at the other one. And then I know you want that question answered, don't you?
I really don't.
You know, this has just come on such a long way. Lots and lots of ramification in there. Again, very, very unique and unusual the way the two trunks form, almost parallel to each other. But when it's all covered in green, it looks fantastic. And right now, you know, when you see it without any fronds on at all, I think it looks pretty impressive. I'm really, really happy with how this one is developing. And again, same thing. Going to be cutting back. All along there we've got buds, 1, 2, 3, there's just loads and loads of them. That is what I'm talking about, and it doesn't happen every year, but on this one there's loads of them. So I will literally go around, go back until I've got a couple there that I like. Cut right back. Same with this one here, we've got buds all over there. Cut right back. And where we haven't got that, right in close to those junctions, we get little buds here and there. Same here. Right in there, junction, little buds right at the base. So we can just start again if we don't get what we want. And there it is, all cut back. Light tighter in there. There are so many buds and everything all over this. That really, really happy with that. Give it a spray. That's the sound of ice cubes, that's how cold it's been. Another brilliant tree. And then we've got this one, which again, from the sort of beginnings it had, which was really, really difficult and awkward to know what to do because we had this problem with parallel branches higher up. It's very unusual, and in the end, quite a number of you said, keep going with it, don't take off. I think this branch was an option to remove all of that. But stay a little bit unique, and this has grown on me, and I call it my spooky redwood because it just has a very, very ominous and eerie feel about it. Certainly when the fronds were coming on and it was looking a bit yellowed off, it definitely had that look of almost you could have someone a hanging tree. Was that the Hunger Games, the hanging tree? But yeah, I love it, and this one I'm happy to keep these all quite long. And I want them to slowly droop down, but yeah, so I will have a look around. Again, we've got multiple buds, we've got we've got multiple buds here coming out, which is going to allow me the option to basically bring it right back in to the desired buds that I want. I just love this, absolutely adore this tree. And so here it is, 29th of November. Probably looks pretty similar to how it looked before, but without the fronds. Sometimes at this stage it's actually quite difficult to know what to do with it, because seriously what I'm probably going to do is cut everything right back until it's basically just a trunk, and where there's loads and loads of new buds, I may well just let them all grow again, because I've got some directions and stuff that I don't like, stuff going up, this going up, which I don't like. I think what you're going to see me do is literally cut it right back. And as I say, this is absolutely littered with buds for next year. I'm going to grow all those branches again. Did you guess that was going to happen? I have literally cut right back. Chances are I'll cut that one even back further. But as soon as I see those little buds lower down, then I know I can regrow. And it's a slower method, I know that. But I'll let all this bunch out again, and then around this time in 2025 I'll cut back again. Much slower process, but what I'll slowly gain is the branches in the directions that I want them. So hey, whatever you say, that's good fun. I enjoy it, and I'm building it from the start, from a cutting that costs me nothing. But you know what? I've got a video about dawn redwood, lovely luscious green fronds that you'd love to see. That's the one that you're going to press play right now. Happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.